I can tell you I've been in the world of counseling a long time, 45 years, and oh my Lord, what we teach people now who are getting over a relationship and want to come to closure is so different than what we taught in 1979, 1980 when I began. Hey, David Essel here, counselor, master life coach, best-selling author of The Whole Nine Yards. So in the past, what we used to say with closure, so you're done with a relationship, let's get people together, let's sit down and just talk and end it on a really peaceful note. And it never, ever, hardly ever happened. People would get together for closure and say, well, if you didn't do this, I wouldn't have done that. And then the other person says, yeah, but if you didn't do this, I wouldn't have done. It's insanity. Okay, you're not going to get anywhere. And maybe you've seen that. You know, I've seen people try to text to closure. It doesn't work. Talk on the phone to closure. It doesn't work. 90% of the time, you're going to have to come to closure on your own. And that's the biggest change that I have seen in the world of therapy and counseling. One of the biggest changes since 1979, where we used to try to get people to sit down and talk, you know, I'm really sorry I did this and I'm really sorry I did that, and to actually have a mature conversation. It doesn't happen that way anymore. Right now, what we have to do is find a way to do it on our own. And I'm going to give you a simple process to follow that you can come to closure on your own without your partner even knowing it. And I wouldn't even talk to your ex-partner about it, your former partner. I wouldn't even say a thing. You just need to do this for yourself. When we come to closure at the end of a disgusting relationship or a tough relationship, whatever word you want to use, it's for your own peace of mind. It's for your own settlement. The body needs to settle down. The body needs time off, especially if it's a bunch of arguing and all that kind of stuff. So what do we do to come to closure? Number one, we write letters that we would share with your therapist, your coach, your counselor, whatever it might be, about your frustration with your partner. This is part of the closure process, right? You know, I'm really frustrated that he always did this. And remember those words, always and never? Oh my God, I hear it constantly. She never did this. He always does this. It's always your fault. Oh my gosh, I've heard that in so many relationships. You know, if it's always your fault, you're the one that does this, you're the one that starts it, you know. And so when you're ending a relationship like that, it's insanity to think that two people who really are acrimonious at each other and negative and vindictive and filled with resentment are going to be able to logically say, hey, it didn't work. I wish it did, but it didn't. Let's just go on our way. That would be beautiful. It just doesn't happen. So you write for the first stage just to get all your frustration and anger out, you know, with specifics. You know, they did this, they did that on this date or this month or this year, whatever it might be. So we want to reach a place of what's called desensitization. And that means that we can write and write and write. And finally we go, okay, I'm over it. I don't want to write about this person anymore and the stuff they pulled. It's not worth it. Then the second phase is to look within ourselves and to say, what can I do better in my next relationship? Be honest with yourself, right? This is part of closure. We're going to learn here. So you write down the things that you did that were inappropriate. One of the biggest things that we see in relationships is staying too long. The second biggest thing we see mistakes being made in a relationship is people letting people back into their lives after that individual has done some terrible things. And we have a tendency to do that, especially if you're sensitive and you have a beautiful heart. Someone betrays you and 2 weeks later, 30 days later, you're bringing them back in and they betray you again. And then 30 days or 2 weeks later, you're bringing them back in, and the cycle continues, right? That's for people who are super sensitive, you know, but you need to write about that. Is that when I'm betrayed the first time, I don't need to go through a second, third, and fourth time. And then the last two phases are really crucially important. And this is where you forgive your former partner in writing, not with them. You don't call them and tell them, hey, I just did this exercise with David Essel and I'm forgiving you. It doesn't matter. Forgive them for everything they've done. Write out specifically, when you did this, just go back to your pain writing, bring that forward. When you did this in 2022, you know, I forgive you completely for it. And you go through and you forgive them line item by line item, and then you do the same for yourself. This is powerful closure. You're open, you're honest, you're forgiving, you're moving forward. We've had people in multiple year relationships be able to really clear it out in as quick as 30 days. And they never return to that person. Why? Because they've gotten all they've needed. They've seen the reality, the mistakes that they've made in the relationship. They know they're going to work on themselves, and they let the other person go. No more blame. We don't talk. We don't gossip. We don't call friends and say, well, do you know what he just did or what she just did? We move on. We open our hearts again. We get into service. not necessarily in a relationship. Maybe we start volunteering more so our heart can be reopened. And then we could be ready for new love. If you need help with any relationship, if you're trying to fix it, your marriage, your relationship, or you're trying to end it and you're trying to walk away in a peaceful way, contact me at talkdavid.com. I've been doing this a very long time. I have a lot of experience with helping people move through these type of situations. We want to get you clean. We don't want you walking forward with resentments. One of the greatest mistakes we make in life is we don't clear up the past relationship and we think we're done because we haven't been with that person for 30 days or 2 years or 5 years. But if we don't do the closure exercise, we're going to bring all that garbage, mistrust of men, mistrust of women, into the next category. I just worked with a couple and the woman completely said to the guy when he first started dating her, "I don't trust men." That sign should have been enough for him to say, I'm going to move on. If you ever meet someone that doesn't trust women, doesn't trust men, the best thing to do is to get the hell out of there. They've already told you it's going to be nothing but chaos and drama. I'm David Essel. The website is talkdavid.com. 5 free books there. I'll work with you from anywhere in the world. And because of the inflation going on, yes, we have inflation specials for the first time in 45 years. Visit us at talkdavid.com and let's get you moving in a positive direction, ready for that next amazing relationship. I'm David Essel. Have a great day.